So for the purpose of this segment for this week, I shall be using an A4 paper for this demonstration. Of course, you're going to be using an A3 size with border lines and text details for this exercise. And the easiest approach that I could give you is you, instead of you projecting this over, is that you take a piece of paper. Now you're going to mark up where the walls are first. So for example, this one, I'm going to take the edge of the paper without moving it, and I will be marking up where the walls are. So in this case, this is where the exterior wall is, and this is where I want. Okay, so this is obviously this is not the improved version of this, but I wanted to extend the wall here. And this one goes to match this lanai here. I'm going to put an X there so that I won't get confused. So this is going to be where my section through AA is going to be. You can do the same for the section B. So I'm just going to go and so this is going to be A-A. This is where going to be my leftmost, and this is where my exterior wall is going to finish. So I'm just going to match that point to the thickness of this. And I'm going to switch it to another side of the paper. So make sure that it's aligned to everything. This is where the niche is going to be. This is where the sofa is going to be. So you could mark up, you can letter these things. So this is where the bed is going to be. And this is where the shelves is going to be. So interior wall, this is where the bed, and of course the exterior wall with the window. So this is a simpler and easier way for you to do a section. So later on, you could probably mark up this thing. So I don't want to put this this floor plan over when I'm trying to draft something. You could do that, but for this demonstration, I shall do this. So section BB through BB. Okay, I'm just shortening it. So this is section through AA. Right? So this is where the study is. Mark it up TNB, or toilet and bath. Never call it CR. Of course, again, let me mention that you do the proper border lines and text details that you're going to be placing. So for this demonstration, I shall be using an A4. Establish first the heights. So once you've determined where to place your drawings, those two sections, so it's going to be 2.7, 2.7 here somewhere. I'm just going to determine that these are going to be this far apart. And then I'm going to be using 1:50, of course, the same scale. When you're presenting floor plans and sections or elevations, they should be using the same scale. It's going to be 2.7 meters. So my maximum is going to be at 2.7 meters for each. So I'm going to mark up also by 2.4. You have ample space for your lettering underneath later on. So I'm going to start with section through AA. So you would like to place it on, centralize this, okay? Determine that yourself. So I'm just going to mark up where my walls are. Of course, I'm going to start with verticals already. As far as the natural ground line is concerned, it could be anything. So in this case, let me just place it roughly about 0.3, for example. Okay, so the NGL is going to be here. Or natural ground line. So I have determined that this is going to be my Ceiling height for my bathroom is going to be 2.4 meters. And the ceiling height for my study is going to be on my 2.7. Establish the sill height of your window to be 0.9. Then another 1.2 meters. And I'm going to place it across like that. Of course, the same height sill for the bathroom windows, but later on, this is going to be 0.4 meters only heights for awning. And then, of course, the section through BB. And I want this, of course, calibrated in such a way that it's going to be centered. So the bed is here, this is the wall, this is the shelves that I want, and this is the wall later on. Stair wall, and then the niche for the TV is going to be here. Shelves again, and then the wall here. I want a light cove later on here. So my light cove is going to be about 0.5 meters offset here from the wall. Of course, the window again is 0.9. 1.2 meters. And natural ground line is going to be 0.3 meters from the finished floor line. Okay, we call the finished floor line of the bedroom we call it FFL, or finished floor line. So that's a difference of height. So that's the NGL. So this is how you start off with your determining your sections. Of course, this is going to be a 0.1 meters for the light cove. Another roughly about 0.3 meters from here going inside there. So that's going to be where the light cove is. It's going to be a light somewhere there bouncing. And this is the ceiling out section. Shelving here. And interior for this one. The TV is going to be same sill type. And it's going to be 2.1. Now I can start inking once I've determined all of this things that I want. When you have natural ground line, it could be just freehand, so that to show that this is not any cemented or part of the building. My ceiling height is going to be here. Ceiling height for my study. And then the finished floor line. Okay, so bathrooms are slightly lower than the finished floor line of the main bedroom. So roughly about 0.05 or 2 inches. I'm going to lower this slightly. And this is the flooring for this. So there's a difference of 2 inches or 0.05 meters. This is where my window sill is going to be. This is the full height of that window, excluding the frame. Of course, this is just going to be the wall inside. Okay, so this is... Oh, So I made a mistake here. So this is not exactly where the NGL. It's not an NGL or natural ground line, rather. But this is more of the interior of the house. So all these thick lines are where I'm cutting through the ceiling, through the flooring. So this is section through AA, walls, ceiling, floor. Oops. Okay, I made a mistake there. Where I'm cutting through are the boulder lines. So this is the flooring for my study. Ceiling for my study. Top most of the window. Natural blue line would be just that. On the outside. And then here, shelves. TV niche. And then, of course, here. A few more things. There. So these are where the bold lines are. So that's where I'm going to be using them only. And then you determine, of course, now you can illustrate even the windows. The windows are illustrated like you see them in floor plans. So double lines. Of course, measure accordingly. This is where my study is. Bathroom. Okay, there's going to be the edge for that. There's a ceiling. So thinner line here. This is like a ledge of this light cove. I'm just gonna create an illustration of a fluorescent lamp. Just a very light type. So everything else is now thinner. I'm going to be using 0.1 from now on. Like this is the ledge. So that, this is where my TV is going to be. Of course, determine your dimensions of your TV accordingly. Now, if before you continue on, of course, you could still pencil the items that you want to illustrate in your sections. For example, the bed. So again, I could refer back to what my dimensions of my bed is by using scale, of course. A bed is roughly about 0.4 to 0.5 meters. And then it's about 2 meters. So there's a spacing a bit there. And then here. I want to illustrate my bed in hidden line form later on because I want to show where my cabinetries are, or what my cabinetries would look like later on beyond this. So this is just a really a start of the section, and I'm going to stop here right now, and of course the rest is up to you to illustrate and finish. And one thing that you could really do first is really illustrate in terms of penciling them first, and determine, like, okay, so I'm just haphazardly just doing it here. Of course, show the frames. It's 0.05 supposedly of the windows, so it's supposed to be 0.05, something more like that. The door here has a door jamb of 0.05, followed by a 0.8 or a 0.9, and then another door jamb. So really penciling in first. So it's gonna be that height. Because I've already determined that this 0.1, another 0.05, and put the doorknob somewhere about 0.9 meters. The midpoint of this is going to be where your hinge is going to be. So it's going to be in hidden line form. I'm just going to finish the door so that you have an idea what exactly it is. .05 framing, and then the door panel. 0.05 door panel. Doorknob. Then of course the hidden line to indicate that where it's swinging. Make sure that when you go into the corners, they meet solidly. Don't place a gap. Make sure all your corners are solidly meeting. Put a bit of shelves here, of course, determine what you need. The bed, I'm going to illustrate with hidden lines. So I'm going to freehand it. And it has a foot. Foot there. So that you could show beyond later what the design for your shelves are. So I'm going to conclude this. I'm going to stop here. So I'm not going to finish this, but in a way that I want to show you how to start your sections and how to do it faster with some sort of reference without having to put in place in the plan underneath. And this is how you do it. So this is 1 to 50. Of course, do the letterings later on. So I made a mistake there. Take note of that. That's not supposed to be in the natural ground line. That's supposed to be the interior of the house. And of course, do determine your lettering and scale later on. Indicate, of course, your scale and what section is this. So this is section through B-B. And scale (1 to 50). Just do the same here for section through A-A. And that's it. So, of course, we're expecting you, again, to remind you that you need to fill out the details of all for both your sections. This is just an unfinished demonstration, and you can refer to the literature that I will be providing you so you have a better idea of how to illustrate what the insights are with the book. Do hope you understood the concepts and the demonstration that I've shown you. So see you next week.